All right, guys, Beard Advice Series time. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Brian Haywood here. Welcome back to my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel where we discuss tips and tricks for your beards. We do some product reviews and unboxings, and we have this Beard Advice series where you guys can be featured in your own video. All you got to do is send in a couple of pictures to me and a little information to the email address you see below. I take a look at that for a couple weeks and you get featured in your own Beard Advice series video like we're doing today with Mr. Shawn. Shawn also goes by, I think it's Bearded Gentleman 18 or something like that on Instagram. And Shawn just, I was looking through his pictures, he just looks like a fun guy to be around. He's got a really cool look right now. It's kind of interesting. One thing I really liked about Shawn's look is it's pretty distinct, but if you go back, I dug through some of his Instagram pictures. I hope he doesn't mind me putting one or two up. But if you take a look at this one, it's pretty much, okay, here's just a guy with a beard. And then he kind of really polished up his look, kind of changed some things, and maybe to match his personality, I don't know. But he's got that undercut and the kind of the pompadour look to his hair. And then now he's got that beard that's grown out longer. He's also got a bigger mustache. So we're going to be talking about some of these things. A couple of concerns he said to me was he just had a hard time training, getting everything to lay down. On the picture that he sent me, he just had a fresh haircut, just a little bit of a beard trim, and then he'd used the hair straightening brush and that kind of thing on it. So we'll talk about a few things here, see what we can do to give him and you guys out there watching some ideas, and hopefully you guys can keep it going in the comments and put your suggestions as well. As far as the mustache goes, it looks good down, but I really like this particular picture that you had. I know you told me that you played around with trying to do the handlebar, which I really think goes with what I've saw about like your personality and you're always smiling. You got that that kind of distinctive haircut. I think that more styled mustache would go right along with that. He says he has a hard time keeping it up. He said he was able to do it, but he had to use like pomade. So I know for the extreme stuff where you're trying to kind of get those really tight handlebars going up, you've got a few options, but most of those options aren't your traditional small batch kind of beard oil guys for some reason. It's kind of almost like a whole specialty kind of niche that's different than the beard oil, beard balm kind of stuff. My friend Justin, he's got a great YouTube channel. He's had it for a long time. He does 30-day reviews is the name of the channel, but he's got the big handlebar mustache. And he's reviewed tons and tons of stuff. And I'll show you, or tell you some of my favorites as well. Can You Handlebar has two different types. It's got a primary, which is a little bit more pliable, easier to put on, kind of on the go kind of thing. But then they've got a secondary mustache wax as well. So on that one, you almost have to warm it up. You've got to use your hair dryer and that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure how much you were using the hair dryer to kind of help style it, but it really does help to use the hair dryer. A lot of times you can use the little combs and stuff, but sometimes it's just using your fingers a lot. Eric Banjos would always just use his fingers when he was using the hair dryer with his mustache, and then also using that cold shot to lock it in place. And it's kind of hard to do a cold shot when it's really hot during the summertime, but I found this a little bit more effective when it's actually colder in the house. But that does work. And then you can put the mustache wax on a couple of times. You can kind of, I like trying to get it all into the middle of the mustache, work it out, comb it out really good, and then put one more coating of wax on the ends of it. The Bearded Bastard has one that's pretty good. My favorite right now is Royal Beardsman. And all of those to me are just pliable enough that you don't have to use the hair dryer and stuff. So it's a good kind of pocket carry. But there's also some ones where you get into the secondary one for the Can You Handlebar. And then there's a whole different niche of other companies that have the mustache wax that's stronger that you can get into. So check that out. Let me know if you find something that works. But I really do like that styled mustache. You have one picture here where it looked like maybe you used the pomade because your mustache was really, really big and thick. It looked good, but I know, trust me, I know about the aggravation on those mustaches. But the picture that I mentioned a second ago, it's a little bit narrower through here. It looks like it's a little easier to manage. It's kind of like mine. I kind of cut some stuff in here, and then this still has enough for the handlebars on the outside. So I really like that. I really like your hairstyle, the kind of the undercut with the pompadour. You didn't really ask for anything different, but I would also think that if you wanted to change things up a little bit, you could grow out the part there on one side of it and get a little bit more of a hard part. And have a little more hair on the other side. So I saw this guy's picture, and as soon as I saw yours and started thinking about your video, this picture jumped in my mind about it. So it's a little bit more hair there on the sides instead of going all the way up to the undercut. And then on this part, it's a hard part, so that's actually kind of razored in. So you find somebody that could do that. Maybe your current barber could do that. Not everybody does those kind of hard parts where you razor the part in there, so it's not going anywhere. A little bit more maintenance, but it kind of matches your personality as well. And for your beard shape, I've kind of in two different camps. I like what you've got going on with the longer length and kind of it getting a little more compact towards the end of it. So nice long kind of tapered kind of thing. But I also liked it when it was maybe about an inch shorter, like the picture that I was referencing earlier. And it might be that way if you were not to use the heated brush. A lot of times the heated brush, especially if you've got kind of a more fine hair texture, is it kind of makes your beard look thinner sometimes because it kind of stretches everything out. There's not a lot there to help support this stuff. So just kind of depends. I'm not sure if you always use the heated brush or you sometimes use the round brush. The texture of your beard reminds me a whole lot of Tyson from Faithfully Bearded. I'm sure you probably follow him, but just in case you don't, make sure you go back and check out the past few days. He's actually did his morning routine, kind of styling routine. And he has some of these kind of dips and waves and stuff right here. I see a little bit on yours, and he kind of shows how he addresses that with the balm and the brush and that kind of stuff. I'm not sure what kind of balms you've been using. You said you had a hard time taming everything, keeping it down. Hopefully the length of your beard's kind of helping with that some. But the strongest thing I've found is the Ferocious Beard Wax. So that one's really good if you've got a formal occasion or that kind of thing. You really want all your hairs to kind of lay down. I highly recommend that one for a really strong beard wax to have in your toolbox. That works really well. And sometimes the mustache wax can too. If you've got one that's not super tough, you put a little extra mustache wax if you're trying to, in the middle of the day and you've got the mustache wax in your pocket, you're kind of refreshing some things. All right, so I've really had a good time with this one, kind of looking at your pictures there. So I think I want to meet Shawn in person. He just seems like a fun guy to be around, but also like the transformation of where he kind of had a shorter kind of regular beard, regular hairstyle, and then he kind of really did some cool things to make everything pop a little bit more and match his personality. So you guys tell me in the comments what you think Mr. Shawn there should do, what you're liking as far as his beard length. On the picture the guy I had with the side part, he's got kind of a nice beard length too that matches what you had in one of those other pictures. So either that particular length or kind of longer like you're working it now, with it's kind of getting a little more tapered as you go towards the bottom, I think would be kind of your best options, unless you wanted to go back short, which would work too, obviously. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.